Hi, everybody. We just finished Onyx Storm, and if you just finished Onyx Storm, welcome to the only group of people who understands what you're going through, which is a lot. It's a lot. That's like the best I can say at this point. Other than to warn you that if you haven't finished Onyx Storm, we're about to ruin all of it for you, so this is not the place for you. Yeah, wow. Uh, Like I knew the ending of this book was going to be a lot. I didn't know what variety of a lot it was going to be, and it still was none of the variety. Well, it was some of the varieties that I thought it would be, but what just happened? Can anyone take a stab at what just happened?
Know where to start.
What just happened?
Well, one of our theories was that either Violet or Zayden was going to go see Theophany or go that route.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting her to be, or Theophany to be killed off.
I also wasn't expecting that. Yeah. That was a surprise to me.
I liked it though.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Bye-bye.
Interesting twist that she was a storm wielder instead of a lightning wielder. I feel like that made a lot of sense.
Yeah.
That was cool. It's funny because I kept looking for the Storm Wielder and I kept thinking, like, is it going to be Violet's third signet? Like, is it going to be Zayden's? Like, what's. And I never for once thought it would be Theophany. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But that was cool. I liked that. I liked the idea that she, at least per what Theophany thinks, that Violet's mom was the answer to Theophany in the balancing act that is nature. I thought that was interesting. Wow, yeah, guys, I just don't even like do we try to go in some sort of order rather than just spitballing random emotions and thoughts and whatnot? Like, what do we think about Mira? Anybody want to just
Mira
like
gets taken.
how do we feel about Mira getting taken?
I was very confused at the beginning of that chapter because they kept being like, "You need to come or she dies," and they mentioned she like 3 times, and I was like, "Who is she? It's clearly not Violet." And then at the end of the chapter, they're like, "And now we have your sister," and I was like, "Ah, there it is."
Yeah.
I feel like there's not much to say about Mira because like she's kind of just trapped and then leaves.
Yeah. Did anyone think she was gonna die?
A little bit, because there was that, like, are you going to follow your mother's like legacy or something like that? And it kind of gave like sacrificial vibes.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think it would have been if there wasn't all the stuff at the beginning of the book that maybe we read too far into, but all of the like her dad notes being like trust only Mira, like all of that stuff I feel like is unresolved with Mira, which made me like, even when her throat get cut, I was, Mira can't die here. We still have unanswered questions and things to do with Mira.
Yeah, even when that happened, I still didn't think she was going to die. Like I was still pretty certain that she was getting out of it. We think that she's alive, right? Because I haven't seen the body, so I assume yes.
Said that she's alive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She has like a little scar now.
Yeah. A lot happened at the end of this book, including a 12-hour blackout for our main characters. So like there are a lot happened that like, but we think like Mira's still okay.
Talking about the whole Bren saving Mira scene though, are we like a little confused about when Sloane channels Dane's power so Brennan can save her, and then Sloane's like, "You have a lot more power than expected," and Dane's like, "It's fine," and then we just move on with our lives and never mention it again.
Yep. Yeah. To say I'm a little confused is an understatement because I have no idea what to do with all of that. Also, including the whole like Violet being like, Oh, how strange that neither Brennan nor Dane have a mark from that siphoning. Because first of all, I don't know if I just don't remember it because, or like if this is new information, but did not know that there was supposed to be a mark from siphoning. But then also like just what it if there if you are supposed to have a mark, what does it mean that they don't? What does that even mean?
Theory on this one.
Okay,
Like for
go.
real.
I want to
Well,
hear it.
I think the like mark from siphoning is, like whenever they like, what's it called, channel, it like drains power and like leaves a little mark behind. So
Yeah.
I think that's what she's expecting to see, because they're like kind of channeling power from Dane to Brennan. Oh,
But it's not like Venom channeling though. Like so it wouldn't be
oh,
like the handprint that's on Dane already from Jack.
yeah, but here's the thing, because Naolin's power was also siphoning, right? Like, isn't that also what he did?
Yes.
So I think the mark on Brennan is when Naolin saved Brennan, but Sloane's doing the same thing and it's not leaving a mark. So what did Naolin do that left a visible
Assume that
scar on
he left
Brennan?
that mark
Oh,
on
cuz he channeled.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think that's what it's supposed to be getting at. Not
Okay.
necessarily that there's something weird happening there, but it's bringing us back around to the fact that Naolin's definitely alive in a Venom.
Oh, okay. Cuz that would be interesting. But yeah, I was just
Yeah.
like do we know that there are supposed to be marks from like regular siphoning, or is it just that like siphoning is so rare that like Violet doesn't have all the information she thinks she does?
Well, do we remember if
Definitely supposed to
their
interpret.
mom had a mark?
I don't
I don't
remember.
think
Yeah,
so.
I don't remember either.
But then she also like died pretty soon after that, so we might not have checked. Yeah, I don't know what to do specifically with the wow, Dane, what's all this power doing up under your skin part? Like I genuinely don't know.
Dean also, someone's touching him, but can he still use his powers to like read her memories? Maybe there's some like counteractive
No,
thing. I
because
don't
his
know.
hand wasn't on her face. I think he has to like, unless his power's grown to not having to touch his
Ever
faces.
since like we discover what Dean could do, I've been like watching where he touches. So there was
Yeah.
this moment that he was touching someone's back, but there was like they're wearing clothes. And I'm just like, could he still do that if it's not skin to skin?
I don't know for sure, but my assumption is yes. I think that
If his
even if
power is growing, yeah.
yeah, well, even then, I don't know if he necessarily had to be like touching Violet's face specifically in order to read her thoughts or like her like immediate past.
We think that it could be that he's just been underselling his ability the whole time. Like being in Tinsic is
Yes.
super illegal and awful in their world, so he's like, oh, I need to be able to touch people. Like it's actually a really weak power. But then he's just been lying to not die.
Yes. Yeah, I think it would be more in that vein, or that he somehow has another signet. I don't know how because Dane is milquetoast, but
I will say I'm out of everything that's happening, one of my top tier things to see in the next book is Dane's reaction, because I feel like every 3 chapters, Dane was there to see something that he wasn't supposed. Like, do we trust Dane to see this? Nope, too late now. Oh, Dane seeing that? Well, I'll explain it later.
yeah, they're being
That,
back to
like
back scenes. Yeah, go ahead, Jamie.
I was gonna mention Sloane's was it Sloane? No,
Yeah.
Imogene. Sorry, Imogene's
Oh,
second
yeah,
signet.
Imogen, yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, back to back scenes where Dane was like, did I just see what I
Right.
think I
We're
saw?
gonna talk about what you just did later.
All my friends
Um,
keeping secrets from me because I'm a wet blanket.
yeah, Dane like discovering people's like hidden second signets just like right and left. Yeah. Um I was convinced that Imogen had one, but that was really cool that we found out that she's probably like this super rare, like, earth wielder, which was interesting.
Are you gonna list it as one of the 6?
I think it is one of the 6, although that didn't, like, come to a head in this book, so I think that that's gonna be a book 4 thing. Possibly book 5 when they're like, okay, great, now we have the Avenger 6. Let's run into battle. But
The 6, where are we at right now? Lightning power, being able to see the future, stone, shadows, fast traveling, and turning things to stone. Did I already say turning things to stone?
we
Or is
already
that
got
the 6?
stone. Yeah, we already got stone, but honestly, like, I would still say dream walking would be one of them unless we think that intrinsic powers can't be counted. Yeah, man. My God. Do we still think that Bodhi has a second signet? And also, what is up with him? If anything.
Great. What's up with him?
You.
He did. Yeah, he tossed his cookies. Why?
Why?
What does that
Why?
mean? He's a traitor. I'm
Yeah.
convinced it's him. Like, it just doesn't make sense for it to be anyone else.
Yeah, samesies. I have 2 reasons for why I think it's him.
Or.
Go ahead, Jamie. Yep. Let's hear it.
Or Rebecca is leaving it as like a red herring and it's completely someone else.
Mm-hmm.
Hey. Brooke, what are your reasons? I'm interested what your reasons are.
Yeah,
if
go
they line
off.
up with mine.
Well, the one is him getting sick, because it seems very out of character for this guy that is like, no, I'm gonna fight, like, I'm gonna die on the battlefield, to then just be like, he's not throwing up because of nerves. We could take it as like maybe like a close to burnout, like he's like pushed himself too hard. I think it's the guilt, personally. We know from Xaden that it's somebody who knows that he's been battling this for 5 months, so that it significantly narrows the pool of people, and he has to be male. He has to be male.
So at least 2 people.
It's literally...
No, it's 2. It has to be Garrick or Bodhi. Who's the third?
It could also be Brennan.
He hasn't known for 5 months, though.
He hasn't known for 5 months. That's true. So it's probably not Brennan. And also Brennan being in the final scene made me think that it probably wasn't him, but that would be a great, like, random, like, thrown in there. But yeah, in my mind, it's either Garrick or Bodhi. We do know that Garrick is gone, and that's why I think that it's not Garrick. And the other reason that I think that it is Bodhi is because Xaden's backup plan was Bodhi, and the only reason he would marry Violet is because he needed a backup to the backup.
Yep. Agree. That's more than 2 reasons, but that's also all of the reasons I had. Also, them like announcing that Garrick is missing is just too much like of a, oh, Garrick's missing to be Garrick, when there's people that are missing that they're not mentioning.
Yeah. So there are 2 other people that are missing. Do we think that they're like people that we care about? They've got to be, right?
Possible that it's Riddick?
I think everyone is possible except for Brennan, Imogen, and Dane. And the reason that I don't think it's Dane is because Dane is mentioned in that group of people that Xaden saves.
It could be Reed.
But it could be Dane.
I think it could be any of the other squad members, but I think one of the missing people is 1,000% Bodhi, because Bodhi is 1,000% the one that betrayed them. I just can't figure out why.
Like, I thought, you know that the scene where Theophany is kind of confronting them and saying how does it feel to be like the second or like the lesser powerful compared to Xaden? I didn't think that Bodhi took it to heart, but maybe he did.
I wanna clarify something though, because Elena, you just said like, why would Bodhi betray them? The guy who's been betraying them the whole time is Panchek, which personally I thought was random. Don't understand it. It seemed weak to me. but okay. It's Panchek. We kept saying, like, it's either
Literally,
someone we really care about or it's someone totally random. And I mean, Rebecca went with
and
Path B.
he was a professor, so it was someone at the school.
Yeah.
It was just like we didn't really get to see a lot of them, and it couldn't be like I was worried it was going to be Kaori,
Mm,
but I'm glad that it wasn't him.
yeah. It was Panchek. Super random.
Don't even
Whatever.
remember what he taught or what
Barely.
his
No.
signet is. Don't
Not
know.
at
Don't
all.
Nope.
remember.
No
My
clue. Don't
immediate
care.
reaction was, "Who the heck is Panchek?"
He's got the green dragon.
Yeah.
Guys,
Wait,
it
so
doesn't matter. They're dead.
well,
I looked him up on the wiki because I couldn't remember who he was, and literally
Yeah.
under his name it says unnamed green dragon.
Ouch.
so his dragon is dead,
Yes.
but we don't know about Panchek. But I'm assuming he's Venin.
So
I think Zayden kills him.
I think he's dead. And I'm gonna hope that he is, because if he ended up being like the first person that could survive his dragon dying, I that would be really lackluster for me.
Well, if his dragon is dead and he's Venin, then he would have survived. Unless
I think Venin can survive.
Not well, yes, they can, because the sage tells Zayden to like slurp all the magic so he can survive when he's gonna kill Sigale. But it doesn't mean that he necessarily would. Also, I don't know that Panchek was Venin.
I don't know either.
Um,
But like
but
he
what I
wanted power,
yeah,
after that confrontation with Berwin.
yeah,
Who you were right, he was alive, that sage.
he was alive. His name wasn't Nowlin, which I was like, okay, we'll
They
get
do
there.
mention a random man that's more powerful
Yes.
than Baron. It's just like hypothetically, like, ooh, mysterious man figure. That's a Venin. That's definitely not going to be important later.
Yeah. So either like Berwin changed his name and is Nowlin, or Nowlin's like doing something else in the Venin community. Like we just haven't seen him yet. But what I was trying to clarify is that the person who's been betraying them this whole time is Panchek, not Bodhi.
Mhm.
I think that Bodhi became Venin during this battle. Like I don't think that he's been hiding it this whole time. I think that he turned in order to save somebody, do something, but is now Venin. That's how I took it. I don't know about you guys.
Has to be Bodhi.
I think it is. Most likely.
And also, I think that's part of why I think he doesn't have a second signet. Because, like, maybe he turned just as part of the battle, but, like, if he turned willingly, then I think it ties into what Jamie was saying, where, like, maybe he does feel left behind by everyone, all of the friends.
Yeah. Because in that chapter, we don't hear anything from this person. Like, they're just there.
Mm-hmm. Also, there was that
Zayden.
unconscious dragon, which we don't know what color or tail they have. So whose dragon is it?
Well, the brother.
Well,
yeah, right.
Assuming.
Probably.
No,
So
in the Violet chapter,
We're just going straight to chapter 66.
Well, I was gonna ask, would the time, because time does, like, it's off for me when I read books sometimes. I don't keep track of it. Would the timeline work if that brother is Riddick? Because there was a scene earlier that made me question. And I think it was in 61, where he touches a wyvern. It clearly doesn't say that it freezes over, just that it got paler. And I question whether he had channeled or not.
Oh, damn.
No, I think it is just his ice magic. For the
But
same
then
reason,
why
I don't think it can be
say
Brennan.
I feel like Rebecca is such like the wordplay trickster.
No, you're super right, Jamie.
Yeah. Let me see if I can grab it real quick.
It's in 61.
61.
I
The
think, yeah.
what in his name is he doing? I shout as Riddick claps the pommel with one hand and extends the other toward Gray's scales. Is he trying to get himself crushed? He can't be seriously. He is. The wyvern shrieks, and a paler shade of gray spreads along its scales, emanating from Riddick's hand.
There's nothing
I
about
think
it.
she's channeling.
But
Could it be channeling?
yeah, because I don't think that that's his ice mat. It says nothing about ice.
Right.
Channel from
Other
Wyvern
than it's
because
falling and then I think it comes like wait, what did it say? The beast tenses, then ceases to beat its wing and falls directly towards us. This is Ree's chapter.
Yeah. And the last thing that it says is that she thinks it broke in half.
Right. Which could be that it's frozen, because when frozen things drop and break
Yeah.
in pieces, instead of if it was channeling, it would have been ash, right?
Mm.
and
What?
I also
Yeah.
don't think
What?
you can channel from a wyvern because Violet gets up on the wyvern body when Theophany is trying to take her magic from her, assuming that a wyvern is like a dead stone.
I think the reason that Theophany can't channel from the wyvern that Violet gets on is because it's dead. I think
Maybe.
there's a difference there, but I think it could be either way. But it is interesting that we don't hear from Riddick again after that, and there isn't
Yeah,
anything
that was
like it crystallizes or I see the frost shoot out of its eyes.
right. It's
Huh.
questionable. And and you're right. That was like the last time we see Riddick. Like he's not even
Hmm.
in the very last chapter
No,
with Violet.
no, that he and Atrom
No.
are not mentioned again.
I think just
Wow.
coming back to whoever it is, Zayden says has known and seen him struggling for 5 months, and Riddick, like Brennan, I don't think has known for the full time.
That's fair.
Where I was
That,
like questioning about the timeline, like I wasn't sure.
yeah. No, that's fair. Yeah, Riddick's another one that learned sort of like later in the game, so it could be that Zayden wouldn't describe him as that.
Yeah.
Damn. Yeah. But yeah, let's go right into chapter 66. What's all that nonsense about? Anybody got some theories?
Is that the chapter?
Oh,
Yeah, the final the
You
last
mean
chapter.
the one where she has a ring on her finger and we don't even see a wedding or a proposal or anything like that?
We have known that scene was going to happen since basically chapter 5, so that was
Why
not the
why
surprise to
do
me.
but why do authors not like to write weddings or ceremonies? Why?
Well,
Why
this one
why
was
they leave us hanging like that?
because there was nothing we wanted to see from this one, Jamie.
But I
I
love
want
all that
really?
cheesy shit.
I
Sorry.
want to see the redo 1 to 2 books from now.
Okay. Okay. As
Yeah.
long as we get
I
one.
feel like this wedding happened exactly how you guys kept insisting you didn't want it to happen. Where you were like, if they just get married so she can take over Tyrandor and it's not about how much they love each other, we'll riot.
But what is the
Um,
plan? What is going on? What is going on?
do you want Jacob's theory? Because Jacob's theory, like it had not crossed my mind, and then he said it, and then I hated it, and I don't believe it, but I don't like it as a theory.
I want to hear from Jamie first. Jamie, what's going on?
He's going to Venom school now.
Is that what's happening?
Well, he's not coming back. He
I
said,
don't think
"Don't
you
look for me."
I don't think you get to bring your dragon and your 3 closest friends and their dragons to Venom school.
So is Brooke's theory the same as Jacob, which is that Zayden be dead?
Oh,
No.
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 Absolutely not.
Okay, see,
No.
that's what I
Brooke,
said,
who is
but
pro Zayden. She's sticking by her man.
I wouldn't have shown up for this episode if I thought that was even a slight possibility. Like, the book court
literally,
would be
Jacob's
closed.
entire theory is that they've been prepping Violet for all book to be able to kill Zayden, and Imogen wiped her memory. So he was like, "What if she killed Zayden and then had Imogen wipe her memory, and she can't feel the bond, and Taryn is recovering from something, which could be like if something happened to Sigil." I'm assuming something did happen to Sigil, whether or not Zayden is alive. I think Zayden is alive, but like it hadn't even crossed my mind that Imogen wiping her memory could be because she had to kill Zayden. And then he said that, and I didn't like it.
I actually hate it. I'm sorry, Jacob, but I hate it.
Yeah.
Like what could be so painful that you don't want to remember it?
It
To be
doesn't
like that.
necessarily have to be that it was so painful she doesn't want to remember it. Because the way that I took it is that whatever Zayden and co are off doing, Violet can't know about it. She made the decision, if I don't know about it, then like I can't be tortured for the information. I can't do it, like I can't be used against you, kind of thing. That's how I took it.
That is the appropriate response.
No, there's no way
I was
he's
kind of like Harry better.
there's no way he's dead. I'm not
Jacob,
gonna.
do you want to know Jacob's direct quote? He would be upset if he's not dead. It's only a good ending if he's dead. Do you want me to call him up?
Jacob, explain
No,
yourself.
I'm not. I don't want you to call him up here because I'm afraid of what I'll say. I don't want to say anything in the heat of anger to someone that I thought I was friends with and will try very hard to be friends with after this moment.
Literally so heated about it. He was like, if it's lame if he's not dead.
And if
He
people
also
who are
thought
just
Mira should have died.
watching this episode for the first time, this is the Jacob that was like, the smut scenes are boring. Like this
Yeah.
whole section,
Yeah, he told us
nothing
that
happened.
yeah, he said the fourth section of this book, so like what we talked about in episode 4, he said was super boring, or was it this last section? Was it section 5?
It was 4, I think.
Yeah, he told us it was super
4
boring and
to
nothing
5.
happened, and that's because that's where all the juicy stuff happened, because he just hit fast forward. No, don't call him up here. I will say things that I will regret, probably. No, I
I was being
refuse to
grumpy with him.
question if he's dead for the next 2 to 3 years. I absolutely refuse. I refuse. No. I think the reason that I'm so sure is that if Rebecca were to do something like that and kill such a big character, it would happen on screen in a way that we were able to mourn his passing. It would not happen in a moment in which we were then blacked out and like learned about it, like we got blindsided by it in a later book. Like that I would never read another thing that she wrote ever. Rebecca, I would never read another thing that you wrote ever.
It would be such
I
a
do think
weak way too.
Yeah.
I do think it's set up in a way though where the first half of this book Violet might be like, oh no, what if he's dead?
Oh, I see her questioning if that's a possibility. The thing though is that like Imogen knows what happened. Like so
She probably
she's
can't wipe out her own memory.
I don't think that she can, but even if she could, I think it's very clear in her body language in that last chapter that she knows exactly what happened. Like she can't meet Violet's eyes until like the very end when she was like, I did what you asked me to. Like she knows what happened and she's not happy about it. Also, there was some sort of battle. So, like, we've talked about the fact that, like, Taryn is recovering. Like, it seems like there have been multiple, like, dead dragons and wyverns and stuff since this, like, 12-hour period has passed. So, something went down where I think Taryn expended a whole lot of energy. Any guesses?
was a bunch of randoms that were dead, like that we hadn't heard of. So I'm assuming if I had to put money on it, it would be they saw Zayden was Venom and tried to murder him, and then everyone was like, "No, we have to protect Zayden so that Violet can have the secret marriage with him."
Yeah, like some sort of run will make it so that you can escape type deal.
Yeah.
Because that's what
Yeah.
I was thinking too, is that it was probably we've got to kill the Venom situation. Huh.
Head empty.
So Eric? Arik?
Arik. I keep saying
Eric?
Arik.
I think
I
it's
always
Arik.
say Eric. Apparently it's Arik.
It's Arik.
Let's just go with Eric. Yeah, so we called
Oh.
that. Good job on us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A win for us.
Yeah. We
At
gotta
least
take him
there
where
was
we can
one.
get him. Yeah, precog is cool. I like that.
Cool. I don't know why he's keeping it a secret.
I think it's a type of intrinsic.
Yeah, I was gonna say dangerous to have.
Yeah. If it's not strictly a type of intrinsic, then I think he realized that it's like way too powerful just to like blurt to the world. Similar to like how
Yeah.
not everybody knows what Dane's signet is.
Especially for royalty
He could have told
too.
Violet.
Yes.
Or maybe he saw something that would put her in danger if she knew.
True.
Oh. Yeah. It'll be interesting to see how his signet works. Like, does he get paths? Does he get like a glimmer that can change? Does everything he see happen? Like, I'll be very interested to see how that all works out.
Is it like Charmed? Do you guys remember that show?
Oh, yeah.
Elena, do you know what I'm talking about?
No, Elena wasn't
Oh,
born in the
love
90s.
it.
She has no idea what you were talking about.
No, my mom used to watch it. I think I've seen a few episodes.
It's a classic.
Nothing makes you feel old like your friends saying, no, it's okay. The show you binge, my mom also watched.
Speaking of another witchy show, I remember when we were talking about Sabrina the Teenage Witch, and Elena thought that I was talking about the Netflix reboot, but I was talking about the Melissa. Is it what's her last name? Melissa Joan Hart.
Don't hurt, yeah. Oh my goodness.
Good times.
It's okay. We just outed our generations right here. It's okay. Some high ladies are 500 years old, and that's us. And then we've got Pharaoh over here who just joined the crew.
Jacob turned really old yesterday.
That mean his birthday?
He said he's not in his 20s anymore, is my guess.
No, he is. It's just late 20s.
Oh my god.
You know what? We're done. We're done with this.
Okay.
Do we have
Back
more to say
to
about
questions.
Eric? Because I feel like we have more to say about Eric. Because I have to say that like at first when it seemed like he just snuck off to like go like get the reinforcements, I was like, this would be a very lame thing for like all of this to be about. So I was extremely pleased with like how cool his character became at the end. And not like just with his signet, but like how he uses it. And I feel like he does sort of marry this like new signet power with like his like cultural awareness, and he's like pulling all the strings and you know using his power for good, so to say.
My favorite.
I think it's just anything. Oh, what did you?
I just said that he's one of my favorites
Oh.
in this book.
True.
What were
I
you
was
saying,
gonna
Elena?
say, I think I enjoy anything that makes Dane frustrated, but when Sloane showed up with the dagger and Dane like followed her being like, and I don't know why she's not listening. It just made me laugh.
It was very funny. I want scenes with the two of them so bad in the next book. Like I'm really hoping that we do get like some side couple action in the next book.
We just talk about the interaction with them where She was like, I'm afraid of hurting you. And Dane was like, oh, you have no idea.
Yep. I loved that. My stomach did another flip-flop when you just like recounted it. But yeah.
Like,
Oh
that's
man.
definitely what I think it, right?
Oh, for sure. Yeah. I think Dane realizes that he likes her and he's probably having a whole conundrum because he likes following the rules and the rules say no.
It's
He's
going to
straying
hurt you.
away
He
from
said,
that.
gods, don't I know it?
Yeah. Yeah, there was that really cute moment with Sloane and Dane. And then there was that other really cute moment with Garrick and Imogen that my stomach also did a big ol' flip-flop. That was adorable.
Reason it can't be Garrick. Like, you can't give me that
No.
cute Garrick Imogen scene and then tear Garrick away as a traitor.
Again, I think you're being too hard on whoever this person is. I would not consider them a traitor because there was nothing in what Xaden was saying to be like, how dare you, I'm going to kill you. That was all at Tancheck. It was more
Right.
like
I
after
had
5 months of seeing what I went through, how could you make this choice? It was like disappointment. Yes, not anger.
Guys, I had to
True.
reread that whole chapter because I totally
Same.
missed the part that there was even a new brother. I
Yep.
just thought it was all directed to Panchek.
No, there was so much going on. I was like, what dragon
So
is
much.
being stabbed? What is happening?
Right. Yeah. And there
Yeah.
was like I totally missed the captured unconscious dragon. I missed like the
Yeah.
brother. There was a lot going on.
I finished 66 and I very confidently flipped that page and then went, what is this acknowledgement doing here? And then I flipped back and then I checked to make sure that there wasn't a missing page, like that I hadn't accidentally grabbed 2 pages and flipped and I hadn't. And
You
I
should have
sat
texted your sister.
Oh, I did immediately. I did. And I also told her I have never so confidently flipped a final page of a book and not realized it was the final page before. Like that was the first time that has ever happened in my life where I actually like I think my jaw dropped. Like I don't know for sure, but I was just like what am I
Like, what do you
what
mean? What do you mean?
just I was like looking at a blank page and I was like, I don't know what happened. So after I had that moment to myself, I also reread the last 2 chapters because I was like, okay, great. I guess if there are somehow no further pages, I'm gonna need to reread these last 20. Yeah, it's I don't think that this person has betrayed them. I think that they are just now Venom.
Another person to unvenom with the cure that Violet finds?
Correct. Also, Jamie, you said like Jamie, were you the one that was saying you can't take Garrick from us? You were, right?
Honestly, I don't know.
Just now in the last 2 seconds, which one of you was saying you can't take
I
Garrick?
think it was
My brain
Elena.
is a whole jumble. Who's getting upset about
I
Garrick?
said that you can't take Garrick after him and Imogen just had a moment.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So yeah, and you're thinking that because you're thinking that this person is like an awful person and like they betrayed them. I was gonna say that. Oh yeah, no, go ahead.
Well, because he's a distance walker, the Venom already have it at distance. So my math is that like they can't have 2. I mean, they could, but
Yeah. Is there
just another
something
reason
there?
why.
Is there like a clue there in the fact that Bodhi's signet wasn't working against the Theophany?
That too. I don't
What
know.
exactly happened?
But maybe.
Do you guys remember?
So when Bodhi came to help Violet, he was trying to counter Theophany's storm signet, and Violet was like, "Nah, you need to get out of here. Like she's way stronger than you." And Bodhi was like, "No, I got this." And Violet was like, "No, you don't." And then it wasn't working, and Violet was saying, "I think it's because you can't counter their magic. But what if it's you can't counter your own magic?" Because I also thought that moment was weird.
It might also have given him like the push to channel because maybe he wanted to get stronger or be stronger.
Yeah,
Ugh,
maybe.
I don't want it to be Bodhi. I mean, I don't really want it to be someone that we know and love.
Yeah,
But it
and
has
it's
to be.
No.
right. Like we said, it's a small pool. Like there's no way it's going to be someone and we're like, oh, good, it's Pancheck. It's not. It's not going to again be someone super random we don't care about.
Right.
Yeah. Um.
Um,
God.
speaking of people that we love, R.I.P. Quinn.
You know
Oh my
what?
gosh.
We said she was going to die in one of these episodes. Like we knew when there was that whole cute scene with her like teaching Violet about the runes. Like I knew for sure she was going. I
Or
still
even
cried.
in, or even in, I think we talked about an Iron Flame. Like, I think she came up during our like, guess who's gonna R.I.P. And
Yeah.
I think Quinn was one of them. It just happened in
Yeah.
this book. But guys, like,
Oh, I
I don't
believe it.
really remember her. I don't really remember her. And this is from, not doing a reread. I just remember what her signet was. Or did I? I don't really remember. But I did cry. Did you guys cry?
It was just a very touching scene. And I think I like saw, it was the like the gravitas of the whole thing that I think got to me.
Yeah. I think I was more
think-
crying for Imogen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I definitely think it from Imogen's POV is kind of what made it the most heart wrenching. And then the callback to like their first day at the parapet that we had never seen before.
Yeah. Yeah, for me it was just like the whole thing. It was like watching someone die who had someone that they loved and was planning a future with, and like their best friend is there to like watch them exit this world. And I was just that was the thing that I was just like, oh boy. Ugh. Yeah. But Quinn as a character did not really care about. Sorry. RIP. Because she didn't really have a whole lot of airtime, honestly. And that's why it was so obvious that she was gonna die, was because like the only scene that she had was that one scene where she was like, I'm gonna be really nice and sweet to you, and also recall the fact that I have a girlfriend that I love a whole lot. And I was like, great.
Yeah. I also think this series is hard because Liam's death was so heart wrenching in book one that like I keep waiting for someone to die and like have it have the same impact on me
Mm,
that Liam did, and I just don't think it's ever going to, unless like
no.
Zayden died. Or maybe Dane at this point. I think I'd be really sad if Dane died.
Yeah. Yeah. Liam's the only one that we've lost that like, or at least me personally, that I really cared about who they were. Like genuinely thought that they were gonna go the distance, like series wise, and then was like, what do you mean they're not going to continue? Yeah. No, I definitely was not that upset. It was like, ooh, this is very dark and emotional, that I was bummed.
Yeah, I wonder if she's gonna have like she being Rebecca is gonna have like a bigger character death in the next book.
And Darna's back.
What
Yes.
what is up with that?
Can I just say, I literally like, because I've been trying to flip and see how many pages are left, and when I did it last episode, I flipped and I saw Yandarna's name, and I said, what? And like, because it was after she was missing, and I was like, huh, no. And then to Jacob, I was like, I think it must just be like them talking about her, but like, I swore it said Yandarna, and then like she was talking, but then I was like, no, it can't be. But in the back of my head, I was like, does she come back? But it makes sense if she came back, and then she came back.
Guys, why is she back?
That makes sense.
No, no, it doesn't, because I will tell you that when my computer's about to die, when I saw Eric bringing in the cavalry, I thought, come here, laptop charger. I personally thought that that was somehow Andarna had like gotten the cavalry together. Like I thought that would be the whole like, oh, I left and like I got reinforcements and here they are and like somehow Eric is helping out. Um and then when it wasn't that, I was like, oh, okay, there's no way she's coming back in this book because it would be weird and there wouldn't be enough of a reason and it would be slightly anticlimactic. And then she still did.
You know what? It did feel anticlimactic. For me, it did it. I don't know.
So like I feel like there are two options here. It's either bad writing, which I don't want to think it's that, or there's some reason that she's back or she never left. Like something happened that we don't know about yet. And I think it's that option. Like I think that something has occurred that possibly came out in our 12-hour blackout. What could it be?
No idea. And we don't even like an inkling. Like there's not even a line in there that like acknowledges for a second why she could be back.
No.
She's just there.
She's just being all invisible, trips Theophany basically, and then won't let them burn Violet at the end.
They bur-
Oh, I think it was like a joke about like that she wouldn't let them think that Violet was dead. Like she wouldn't let them like commend her to Malik.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's how I took it. Jamie, do you have any idea like what is up with Antarna?
No, none. Other than like, why this specific moment? How does she know to come at that moment? And all I can think is maybe Eric, but I don't know.
Did she leave?
Like,
What Elena?
Did she even leave?
maybe their bond wasn't broken because like Violet still had dream walking ability, which we thought was connected to Andarna, and then she could do it anyway. And then they were like, "Oh, that's weird." Like there was a weird line in there where they were like, "Oh, that's weird. Who knows?"
Yeah.
And there was like
So
no
like, is their
mind
bond broken?
bond.
I don't know.
Other than grieving, I don't think we ever got a Violet had less power moment. Like Mira
You know,
thought would happen if the bond was broken.
genuinely I like honestly head empty. Like I really I don't even know. I don't even know. Like what could she have gained that she's now bringing back? Like what could she have been doing if she didn't leave? What what? What?
Maybe she left and was like, "Wait, these people aren't my family. Like, I need to be with my real family." Like, that's what I'm thinking might happen. But again, that would just be kind of lame.
My honest
That
hope.
she came at the right moment. Because had she not come, had she not trip up Theophany would have won that battle. So
And
how
my
did
thought is that
Andarna know to come? Sorry, go on.
no. My thought is
Oh,
that
God.
she was probably like hanging around for at least a little bit, like trying to see how she could help in that moment. Like I don't think she just like popped back and just happened to be in the right place at the right time. My hope is that maybe she figured out what the cure is, or maybe she figured out how they beat the venom the last time. And she's come back. She was like, okay, I've gotta go carry this information back home.
It's been long enough. What has it been? 5 days? 7 days?
Yeah, my guess would be like a week, I think.
Like 3 days for grieving, and then a few days for bopping around, and then
Yeah, I
so
think
it hasn't
so.
been long enough for her to go anywhere or do anything. Like it took
Yeah.
them like weeks to go all the way out to where the irids were.
Yeah, I want to think like, because Violet was like catatonic for like 3 days, and then there was the first battle, and then this one. So maybe like, no, maybe it was like a couple
The
weeks.
first battle happened before. It was the final, and Darna went, and then she was catatonic. I thought.
Oh, right, you're
Or
right.
is it- yeah.
But I think it was like a few weeks, because didn't that whole time wasn't Felix training her? He came to help train her.
It just feels not long enough for her to have gone all the way there.
No, I know what you're saying, and I do agree. Let me. Hmm. No, the few weeks that I was thinking of is before she leaves. So yeah, I don't think it was that long. I don't know, guys. I don't know what Gold Dragon was doing.
I don't know. Any thoughts on them taking dragon eggs?
It's part of the plan, right?
Riders were killed so that Zane and Violet and Squad could steal dragon eggs, or do we think Zayden stole the dragon eggs, or do we think other Venom stole the dragon eggs?
Oh no, I think like Zayden and whoever left have the dragon eggs and are probably using them to get some sort of alliance with other places. Because like they alluded to that multiple times in this book. Like that's what
That's
everybody
true.
wanted,
Of
right?
the other aisles.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I think the thing that we haven't talked about yet is like what are Zayden and Sigale talking about at the end of chapter 65? Like she has to say yes, we have to convince her, talk to Taryn. Like this is something that like at least Violet and Taryn and Andarna and Zayden and Sigale all agreed on. Like that whatever this plan is, they all agreed on it.
Because we got, Zayden is icy, like, he let go of all his emotions. But then even at the we're still getting Zayden loves Violet.
And when I went back and read it again, he makes that comment to Sigale, like, what's left of me that you can see. And she looks inside of him and does see something. And it's that one piece that's left. It's that single piece.
That chapter 64, when like the shadows roll in and she's like, oh, this is not something that he could normally do. I was like, tis the moment. Somehow it's worse than I thought it was gonna be.
Yeah. Yeah, I always figured that like that was the vibe that Onyx Storm was giving, but I didn't like picture it exactly how it happened. And it was sad. Yep.
Do we still think he has a third signet?
Never thought he had a third.
Brooke, do you think it's ice?
If he does, I don't think he knows about it. Yeah.
Interesting that like when it was describing like the Onyx storm, there were words like ice, icy included.
And
Like
that was
that's
used like
very
all
specific.
throughout.
Oh, it
Yeah.
was.
Well, you know, like Violet would always say, "Get off the ice," or like I saw the ice in his eyes. Like it was always ice was always used along with Onyx. So I mean, like it's
I
possible.
only caught it Onyx.
Yeah.
Throwing it out there.
I thought that was just to describe his like emotional state. That
Yeah.
like he was letting go of his emotions and turning icy.
Yeah. Could it be something more? Sure. It would be interesting if it did end up being Riddick in that case. Yeah.
Though.
But my thought is that they have the eggs and they're going to go use them for their purposes, which I have to assume has something to do with finding a cure and or beating the venom. So is it that like Andarna found the people that have the answer and they're like 6 dragons or we walk? Like, I don't know.
I'm assuming 6 eggs equals 6 eggs, like one from each of the kind of dragon.
That would be my guess. Do we have
I don't
any
know.
other guesses about who else is missing?
Halden. I hope Halden's missing.
Ish.
Well, they said 4 dragons, 4 riders. So
He's not included.
Halden can't be in that group.
We know for a fact it's Garrick. We're assuming it's Bodhi.
Well, and Zayden is definitely one of them.
Do we think that they're including Zayden in that though? Because they seem pretty sure that Zayden is off doing his own thing.
I think they're including him in it. I don't think that it says like him and 4 other people.
Well, but my interpretation was at this point that they know he's Venin, so I don't know if they're including him in like the missing cat.
Yeah, well, no, because they say official numbers are 4 riders, they're dragons, and 3 elders murdered in the valley in what we're estimating the last few hours. And then he says, and we still have 5 riders missing, 4 now. But after that display, we all know Ryerson did this. I bet the other 3 are already dead.
Oh, okay.
So it's 4.
So it's Garrick, Bodhi, and probably one of the squad. So Ree, Sawyer, Vic.
Yeah. That would be my guess. I don't think Eric goes. He would know about the whole thing.
I don't know.
If it was Garrick, I think I was going to say that it would be fairly badass for Imogen and Violet to team up to save their guys. Like, if anybody could get it done, it would be the 2 of them. Oh man. I feel like there were a million other things to discuss, and I'm just that's it. That's all I got. Jamie, what were you gonna say?
But to add on to like the missing, could have been Miss Sloan, because then she's also one of the rebels.
It would make sense for them to all be relics because of Belgrin. Yeah.
The
3
other
relics,
thing,
right? So even if it's not,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
they would have enough with just Garrick, Zayden, and Bodhi.
Yeah, but if they've got 4. Oh, that's true, because if anybody with a rebellion relic is like included, then it clouds it.
Mm-hmm.
So then what do we think Melgren's warning was about from earlier? Was he talking about this battle?
Like this battle, right?
But there were so many people with rebellion relics involved.
Who knows? I'm still not convinced that he's on the side.
Oh, yeah, he's awful.
Wasn't he like never really on the good side?
That's fair. Yeah.
Because he's like all for King Tari.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So my next question, if we got POVs from Ree and Imogen, does that mean the next book will have more of them?
I would like that. Also, like, if even a significant portion of the 4th book, like, doesn't have Violet and Zayden together in the same place, my hope is that we will get like other people in their blossoming relationships that we can like there can be some sort of happiness. But my other guess is that it's probably going to be at least a split POV book between the two of them.
I think we're not gonna get Violet and Zeta in the same place, but I think we're gonna have a lot of like dream sequences between the two of them.
Ooh.
That would
I
be
like
very
that.
cool.
There'll be a lot of Violet being like, Zeta, where you at? And him being like, shh, I miss you.
He's like, I don't know what it feels like to miss things anymore, but I have to assume that I do.
I love that.
I feel nothing except
I mean-
undying love for you.
My wife.
Oh, we found the emerald. We found the missing emerald, huh?
I don't know why I didn't think of an engagement stone when we were like, there's one random missing emerald. Wonder what that has to do with anything.
I forgot about that.
Does that mean he had it made ahead of time, or has it always been an engagement ring?
My assumption is that yes, that it was made ahead of time. I don't like how much could we have packed into 12 hours?
I mean, he's been hinting.
Right. Like this whole book was hinting at it.
Yeah.
I have to assume that even if he anticipated it going a different way, that he had the plan in the back of his mind.
Wanted to call her Duchess. Was that the right term?
Oh, shivers. Yes. No, there's no way he's dead. Jacob, oh my god. What a dumb.
He was literally like so insistent. He was like, "Oh, I feel he's dead. It's dumb if he's not dead." And I was like, "What is wrong with you?"
He's not a romance reader.
No.
That's really the problem that we're having here is that yeah, he doesn't understand that you can't kill a love interest off screen at the end of the third book of a 5-book series.
That we know for we know and believe that will be endgame.
That's not
They
how
were
this
endgame.
works.
Wait. We never figured out. I was like, "Oh, what was that Duke moment that I thought was really funny?" And it was freaking Bodhi when Zayden leaves. Is it Bodhi or is it Garrick? One of them to Violet goes, "We have a problem now that the Duke of Angst is gone," and then we never find out what the problem is.
Oh, it was Bodhi and he was talking about Tiny.
Yeah, because Mira got kidnapped.
Right? Are you just talking about Tiny?
Right after he says that at the end of that chapter, he's like, Tiny is unconscious and we need to somehow get him out of here. And then they have Tarn dragon lift him. It's like chapter 60, no, probably like 56 into 57, I think.
Yeah, that's
58
got
or
it
59, somewhere in there.
from that.
Yeah. It's because everybody leaves, and the reason he didn't want to say it before is because he wanted to make sure that everybody like continued on to their posts. Because he and Violet were supposed to stay there to be distractions for Theophany. But then Tiny was all unconscious and whatnot.
Maybe it was. Okay.
It's 59 into 60.
Yeah, I see it.
Yep.
You're right. Never mind.
Looking for twists in all the places.
I know, we'll definitely have to do a reread.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Whenever we figure out when the 4th book is coming out, I will certainly be rereading all 3 of these before then. But yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot happened in this, and we're probably forgetting 3/4 of it. And the Onyx cuff never came back. I don't know if he's got that. If it was just a nice gift. Mirror's bracelet.
That was the thing that I had trouble with, or just was frustrated that there were more questions than answers.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm not frustrated by it. I think it's cool. Like it feels similar to the end of Iron Flame, where like at the end we just like got dumped. Like there was just a ton of stuff. Um but I don't know, like I feel like we've got plenty to
Think
talk about for the next
I
2
know.
years.
I think because they've just been like half answers,
Mm,
like the hair, um,
mm,
the Temple of Dune. Like there was just so much more. Like what were in Mom's journals?
mm.
What did Dad do?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think my frustration is that it's a middle book and
Mm,
like it would be in a 10 out of 10 book if I immediately had the one to pick up and figure out who had just turned that in and where Zayden's going. But I don't have that.
So you're
So
gonna give it like a hot 3 stars because it had the audacity to come out when you wanted to read it, and then when you reread it before the fourth book, you'll give it like the five plus because everything makes sense.
yeah, and then I'll give the fourth book 2 out of 5 stars until the fifth book comes. This is why book series like we shouldn't release a book unless all of the books are written and ready to come out within a 2 month period. Like, but
That
That's
is a
not how this
hot
works.
take. Yeah.
it should.
Elena's note to all authors out there: don't you dare release a single book until your whole series is ready to publish. I don't know. My mind is still reeling, but I absolutely loved this. Like can confidently say I enjoyed every single moment of this book except for it being Pancheck. It was just random. It was random. I don't know if like it'll make more sense later. Maybe it will. So I'll
Right.
like
It'll make more sense later when we do a reread and we'll look for the clues.
maybe. Or like in the fourth book, they're like, yeah, remember when the this thing happened? And I'll be like, oh my God, earth shattering. Maybe. But like, you know what? Not every moment can be a banger. But overall, this book was fantastic. Had so much fun reading it.
Yeah, what if we read book 4 until book 5's out? Doesn't that seem like a great option?
No. I mean, you can just not join us for book 4 if you have to, Elena, but there is no way I don't read that book the minute that it is in my hands. There's no
I just
way.
want to chime in. I also enjoyed it. I enjoyed the ride. I liked it a lot more than Iron Flame because it
Mm.
was kind of like not a reawakening, but kind of like this is what I missed about Violet and Zayden. Like they were just so cute.
Yes.
Very lovey-dovey. Like it was giving like the fourth wing vibes without it being fourth wing.
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you, Jamie. And I feel like there were like two very convenient plot devices in this book to like get us that, like the whole making him a professor and like, oh, you guys can't be dating, and the whole like, well, I don't know, I can't trust myself around you. What if I accidentally kill you? Like, and I wanted to hate those two plot devices and I loved them. I think that they worked really well. Like, I honestly, I felt the same way where I was like, yeah, this is the couple that I fell in love with in book 1. I didn't hate them as much as most people do in Iron Flame, but like looking back on it, it's just like we had the shower scene and that was it. Like everything else was just them fighting and like trying to figure out a riddle. Like this book, I felt like I was right there like the whole time.
Same.
Yeah. Elena, how much did you hate it? Like this book can go to hell?
Read it. I thought it was a good book. I thought it was a really interesting ending. I would just like the next book. It's too much.
It suffers for its amazing cliffhanger and the fact that you now have
Well,
to wait at least 12 months for the next one.
probably more. But I just feel like the entire book we knew that Zayden was gonna like run off. Like when he didn't within the first like 10 chapters of this book go all venom and it was clear he was holding out. It just became a waiting game in terms of when is Sir gonna go full venom? And it's
Mm.
just been building up to it all book. And it was a good, like, it was still a good turn moment. I love that he did it for Sigale as opposed to Violet. Like, I didn't see that one, but that was a super cute moment. I just need the him coming unbended moment.
Yeah. I agree with you on that too, because I like in the last episode, I know we were saying like, oh, maybe like the bait and switch is that like he doesn't, like the whole book's been leading up to this, and then that doesn't happen. And it did. So it was like a little, this was supposed to happen and it did happen. But yeah, you reminded me of the other thing that I really loved about this book, and it was like all the dragon rider moments. Like we even got like some really great, windows into like other people's bonds with their dragons and like how different they are. And yeah, just like the moment with Xaden and Sigale, and then with Violet and Taryn. Like I really loved that because like I feel like Violet and Xaden all the time are like you're my reason and whatnot. And I liked that they both like did it for their dragons at the end. It was like, no, like you're a part of me. Yeah. They're the
Taryn's
most
still my
dysfunctional
favorite
foursome in the
character.
whole world. Oh, what, Elena?
I said Taryn's my favorite character, but also it's a five-some.
That's true. Yeah.
Um,
There was that adorable line that Sigale had about like basically how awful, like how much trouble like Violet is. And I was like, oh my goodness, it's so funny that both of their dragons hate their significant other. Like they're just just always fighting.
like literally, even at the end when Zane was like, "I need her," and Sigale was like, "Taryn's not gonna let you anywhere near her," and he was like, "But please."
Yep. Or yeah, like when Sigale literally just like tosses her into the air. She's like, I saved you. You're now his problem. It's like, oh my god. But yeah, there's no way Sigale's dead either. Like I think that I don't know, Jamie, if you mentioned that, or some one of you mentioned that maybe that's why like Taryn is now recovering. Like there's no way that that death would happen off screen either.
Jacob Zayden is dead theory.
No, I don't think anyone super important died off screen. Unless we see it again. And I also think that if someone did die in those 12 hours, it was not Satan or Sigale. That's my guess. Wow. What a book. Yeah. Any final thoughts? Feelings? Does everyone just want to scream like for 30 seconds? Just with like take one deep breath and just let it out?
Maybe off screen.
Yeah. If you haven't done it yet, we encourage you to do it after this.
No, I was just thinking that Tarn and Sigil, they're the parents that we needed.
Yeah.
Sure.
So dysfunctional, but so loving at the same time. Yeah.
What
So
was it
good.
like? Tarn making sure that she ate, and Sigil just like hover momming.
Yeah.
Like there's the parents that we were
Looking
looking
at him
for.
at the end, it only took all Bursa to start talking to Zayden again.
I really liked that is that I have to imagine that whatever this plan is that they're like off doing, like Sigil is with him and they are like they've made this plan together. I have to believe that. And I do love that she's forgiven him and understands why he made the decision he did. Oh man.
Recovering from, because like they supposedly Taryn and Sigale can't be apart. So if Sigale is going to be with Zayden, they had to do something for Taryn and Sigale to be apart.
Mm, did they break their bond?
I don't know. That's what I'm kind of wondering.
Oof. Yeah, I didn't think
Because
about that.
they have that whole moment where when Tiny needs to be carried and Taryn's like, no, I'm gonna leave her here. Or him. I don't know. Them.
Yeah.
Here, and Violet's like, you're not allowed to protect your rider over another dragon. And Taryn was like, watch me. Like, you'd be surprised what I'm willing to do for my rider as opposed to the dragons. And he lets her see from his eyes. Like, it's just clear their bonds are so much more than the typical dragon and riders.
Yeah. Yeah, I could definitely see Taryn and Sigil breaking their mating bond so that they could stay with their riders.
They can do that?
I don't know, but I could see if it was possible, I could see them making that decision because they had to.
Is this not like one of those like they mate for life?
No, I think they do. Also, that just made me think that if they were to have done that because they realized they have to be in two different places in order to make this plan work, that would explain why Violet can't talk to Xaden down their bond because it's through Taryn and Sigil. Ouch. I don't love that I
It
just
would
had
make
that thought.
sense. It would also make sense because they're already immediately talking about how that's the easiest way to get to Xaden, which Xaden would know. So like being a
Wait.
part makes sense to protect Violet.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, I think that it has to be a secret wherever they're going and whatever they're doing. So many emotions. Well, I will remind both of you, but mostly Elena, that a year ago we finished Iron Flame and we thought that this book would never come out. So the fourth book will eventually be here. We will eventually know what happened. It'll be okay. And it's worth the wait. Like, I would say wholeheartedly this book is worth the wait. Like, hands down.
Well, will be worth the wait, waiting until the fifth book's out and just binging them both all at once.
I dare you. I dare you.
You would have to avoid social media so you don't get spoiled.
For like years. You would just have to delete Instagram.
And I know you like looking things up, so
both out at once. She'll just be like, "Oh look, I'm released both on the same day. Surprise!"
I could see her doing something similar. I could see her being like, I've drafted both books, and like 4 is going to come out in like 2 years, and then the next one comes out like 6 months later. I could see her doing something like that, like what she did with the first 2. But yeah, it's okay. I feel confident that the next book will be worth the wait. This was a fantastic trip. I loved most every moment of it. Yeah, I think that's it. Any other final thoughts? Because we've come up with more since I've asked. So, anything else? Any other awful theories, gut wrenching thoughts? All right. I know we'll think of stuff after. Come chat with us and let us know what you thought. Did you love it? Did you hate it? What do you think happened? We'd love to hear it. But we will see you back here for our next book, or at least the 4th book whenever it comes out. Bye, guys.